I can't make it perfect. So if you don't understand, I'm sorry. Hey everybody, it's me, Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about how I forced myself to situate my finances. And the best way to do that is to make a whole new bank account. So yeah, me and Greg, we got married and of course we made a joint account together. So I'm just going to go through how we did that and how you can re-situate your finances, like the basic tips I have. And then we're going to sit down at my computer and we're going to go over my spreadsheet. And we're going to do a little end of September check-in. And yeah, get ready. Okay. All right. So first, make a joint account. Yeah. Either change your bank account if you need that really big push to like force yourself to literally change every subscription you have and update everything. You know, if you're moving all of your money out of one account into another, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's for sure. So that was a quick way to force myself to get on it, right? Okay, so brand new bank account. And I think I recommend that more than just going to one person's account if you are a couple joining, because essentially we've left our own separate accounts as our personal accounts with our personal credit cards, so we can still, you know, buy each other gifts and have our own personal fun money, like for my tattoos, and that we have $100 allowance for each person that goes into our own accounts every month. And we established we're just going to put $1,000 in and just see if we need more after the $100 a month. So yeah, we waited until after all of our first of the month charges went through, and essentially we put everything except for $1,000 in our personal accounts onto the new joint account. You're going to want to have at least a nest egg of 1.5 times your monthly expenses. So I'll show you my spreadsheet later, but essentially you're gonna figure out how much money you're spending each month if you're really new to budgeting, what your income is, and then what you're saving. So your expenses, your savings, and your income. Just for your expenses, you're gonna wanna multiply that monthly number by 1.5, and that's the amount I recommend keeping in your account as a nest egg and just letting it sit there, even though it's not gaining you interest or anything. You know, I think it's just for my state of mind to make sure that we're never worried about what time a bill is going to come out of the account. Like, we're not living paycheck to paycheck, because we have that little nest egg in there. And for instance, we had like a small emergency with our dog this month where she caught fleas, because apparently her flea medication, the fleas don't care. They're literally like whatever, that they're completely resistant to that flea medication now. So we had to buy a whole new set of flea medication and get her emergency like anti-flea pills, because that sucks. I wouldn't want fleas. Yeah, so that's obviously like an unexpected expense that we could take out of our joint account with no concern, because we have 1.5 months of expenses already just sitting in there at base. Yeah, so once you have that, would be my first savings goal. For a budget, you're going to want to know how much you're spending in each month and how much you're bringing in. Now for me, before we go sit down and look at my spreadsheet, I'll let you know now that another huge tip of mine is to budget the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario for us is the lowest amount of income without any overtime, or Greg gets like a lot of commission and sales and stuff, so we assume like the absolute minimum income and we use that number, so the absolute minimum amount of money that we could make without, you know, any extra emergencies happening, to then use that as like the max we can budget for. So we have to be able to fill all of our bills and expenses and savings with the minimum amount possible. Hopefully, usually, that means we get extra money at the end of the month, because usually we don't make the minimum, right? And then, of course, on top of that, I budget for our bills being the most expensive they could be. So we look back at like the most expensive electricity bill that we had was $550. So I always put in for our budget spreadsheet that we're going to spend $550 on our electricity bill, when hopefully that's not the case. That is how I budget for the worst case scenario. That way we're always baking in some wiggle room. Okay, we're baking in some wiggle room and some surprise savings. Okay, yeah, but to recap, we have our joint account okay? Brand new bank account for both of us. And that's what I recommend to really like jumpstart your forcing yourself to get your finances in order. And then you're gonna want 1.5 monthly expenses, not including savings, just your expenses in your nest egg. So that way you're not living paycheck to paycheck, just sitting in your bank account, and that's what we have. And then of course the basic budget method that I use is worst case scenario, zero budgeting. So every dollar, and you'll see that in a minute, but every dollar we have, it goes into a category. And sometimes that category is just extra surprise money savings, but it has its own category. And we budget based on our worst case scenario month where we have the highest electricity bill and the lowest amount of income possible. But yeah, so essentially the extra money goals would be, our next step is 10K savings, which hopefully we'll be headed toward soon. I think we're about halfway there after this month. And then we'll do paying off my car and then paying off my student loans because Greg is already debt free. Congrats, babe. All right, let's go. Let's go hang out and look at my spreadsheet. Come with me and you'll be in a world of spreadsheets. I can't make it perfect. So if you don't understand, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And I'm sure I'll say it enough to where somebody eventually will figure out what I'm trying to say. So maybe I'll just chat a little bit about how the money's been making me feel. Well, of course, our dog got fleas, so that was a little unexpected expense. And then we have a little bit of a leak in our roof, and I'm starting to regret buying a house. Because then also our mortgage went up $500 in the last 5 months. And that wouldn't even happen if I was renting, so, you know, it's a little frustrating, okay? It's a little frustrating. Okay, let's see. I will show you. I hate screen recording. I've tried it, and I hate it. So until I figure it out, this is what you're getting, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna love it. Okay, so we have expenses. Okay, and let me add the most recent one. So we had a grocery bill of $90, and I just noticed because I've done this video already like 3 times, so don't even worry about it. We had groceries of $90.10, and then we had $18.99 for little pill pockets for Pepper. So we are adding $91 to our total, and this should be the final groceries for this month, even though the month isn't over, but we kind of did the last week of October or August in September, so this is just what we're doing. So I planned 4 grocery trips for each budgeted month. Like if we do 5, it's whatever, but the budget's only for the 4 trips, so I'm not too concerned if we put the 5th trip, or maybe it's just, I don't know. Is this making any sense? I don't know. We just did our last grocery trip for $90.10, so we add that to our total right now, which is $515.86. So that's $605.96, and our budget for groceries, 4 grocery trips is $610, so we're $5 under budget. Heck yes. And I'll show you all this in just a second. So we're way over budget for pets, which is $150 is the budget, and our actual spending is $403.10, which we're going to add $18.99 to $422.09. Yes. Brand new flea medications, you know. I already told you. But it's gonna be okay. So that is, we're caught up. And so let me show you what is going on. Yes, so our mortgage is now at $2150 budget for. Our actual is $18.07, and then our internet, we budget $99, but we actually get a discount for $89. Water is $125, which is higher than I've ever seen it, and we are $116.22 this month. And then electric is $550. We're actually $168. And then everything else is even killed. So those are our like miscellaneous fun subscriptions and stuff that we just added all up, and as far as I know, that's what we should be paying. So let me show. So as you can see, this is crazy. And maybe I'm crazy, but it works, okay? Because I end up with money, lots of money at the end of the month. And I'll show you in a second. So this is our lowest possible income. Unless one of us gets laid off, please no. But you know, if that would be an emergency thing. So separate from emergency things, we have our lowest possible income. And then we put in our actual paychecks here, which gives us the actual amount of money. So of course, for gas, we've literally only done $27 this month because we both have hybrids, and that's great for us. Okay, and then eating out, we've done $51.19, which is great, so we're under budget for that. Alcohol, $42.48, we budget $50, that's good. We have an allowance, that's always gonna be the same. Household, it's not above, but I did move this around. I used to budget like $150 for eating out, but we don't really eat out that much. I'm like, household is everything for us, from like toilet paper to toothpaste and body wash and razors and everything else. So like personal care is lumped in there, like our deodorant and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like things we need to live modern lives. And then Pepper's food and our snake's food, her name's Miley, is usually $150. That is our little surprise there, okay? And then we're under budget for groceries, which that's wonderful. Now, coming to our savings, we still have $400 to put towards our regular expected savings. And my car insurance, I pay every 6 months. I already have that money set aside, so I'll worry about that, budgeting for it come January. And this is just where I put in when we do get extra money, just to like show myself like our savings total would be here. So that's what I like to do over there. And then we have our mortgage, like I said, and everything's filled out here. And this is what gives me a little like cushion there, because that was truly like our highest electric bill last year. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But if it does, you know, I'm prepared, hopefully, you know, because we're able to pull this all off with the least amount of money that we can make, right? Right, so this is like, oh God, what's this? But that's because we haven't had our final check yet. Okay, so Greg, let's say he pulls in, and this is the fun part, okay? Well, you know what, let's go ahead and just, since we've had all of our shopping trips, this might go up, but as far as I'm convinced, our next shopping trip is just gonna be in October. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and put in the full $1,700, because that's our base savings that we try to do every month. I mean, we try to pay ourselves first. I always do at least $1,300, but I haven't actually updated that for the new bank account yet. So all of our bills are paid, all of our debts have been paid this month, and you know, all of our true variable expenses are done. So let's go ahead and see. Let's imagine he gets paid the same amount. $3,326. Let's put $3,326. Boom. Wow, look at that. That is what I like to see, girl. Okay. So that was $1,264. $1,000. That means we're saving $2,702.64 in 1 month. And this is what I like to do. We have $2,800 in our emergency fund right now. If we can pull this off every month, our ally savings is oh god, not that much, I wish. 4.2% a month, and let's say by Christmas, so October, November, December, 3 more months of this. Well, actually, we should include September because I haven't pulled that money yet. You know, let's not include September. Let's say just 3 more times. How much? Oh shit, look at that. Our fucking $10,000, excuse me. Our 10K emergency fund is done. That's great. That's what I'm hoping for with this budget. I don't promise myself that because I don't know about this shit. But budgeting this way helps me. So, I'll make sure I get on that. And then, but yeah, with this method, the only saving grace you get is tracking everything. Okay, that's everything. That's all of our groceries, our alcohol, our Target runs for laundry, detergent and stuff, and like, I kind of was tracking our bills, but our bills are kind of set, other than the electric and the water, but. And then I highlighted red like all of our truly unexpected, so the flea medicines, and I have my gamer subs, sponsor me please, thanks. And then we had our blender break, of course, on top of that, and then we got her annual flea meds, like the really, really good kind with a prescription. Gosh. But yeah, so that is my budget. Okay, girl. So next time I'll let you know how much we actually ended up saving, because we are going out of town next weekend, and we could end up spending a little more on gas than we budgeted for, but we're going out of town, so that's fair. That's how I redid my stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I feel like that took a crazy turn, but I love budgeting and I can't not make these videos even when I have technical problems, so